G'day there guys, Markee here, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Asshole? Let's go. Am I the asshole for allowing my wife to wear expensive jewellery to dinner and subsequently embarrassing my brother-in-law? For starters, I absolutely adore my wife. She's my rock and has been an infallible beacon of light for me this year. I lost my job at the beginning of the year, and when things got tough, she buckled up, got a part-time job to help us stay afloat, and didn't have a single negative thing to say about it all. I finally got back on my feet again and wanted to do something nice for my wife once things settled down. She's a classic girly girl and loves to dress up, go out, etc. We really cut back this year, so when our finances felt stable, I wanted to splurge on something special for her. I bought her a diamond necklace, nothing too extravagant. We just got out of financial straits. I am not turning around and blowing money that I don't have. It's a single solitaire diamond that, in my opinion, was classy and elegant, but something that she could wear on the daily. Cue to Thanksgiving dinner, and my wife wears the necklace to dinner. Her sister-in-law, her brother's wife, I'll call her Mary, notices the necklace and compliments my wife on it. My wife happily tells her how it was a surprise, and Mary agrees that it was a super sweet sentiment, compliments me on my choice, and overall, the family thought that it was a nice gift, especially knowing that we went through hard times. A few days after dinner, I received a text message from the brother-in-law calling me an asshole for using Thanksgiving dinner to show off and make it all about me. He said that I shouldn't have let my wife wear such flashy jewelry to dinner and upstage everyone else, and that it was super selfish and conceited of us. I was stunned, to be honest, because the necklace discussion only lasted several minutes, maybe 5 to 10, and the rest of the family only had nice things to say about it. They seemed genuinely happy for me and my wife. I'm starting to feel like an asshole because it's true that the family isn't incredibly well off, and something like my wife's necklace could be seen as something very luxurious. My brother-in-law says that I'm now putting pressure on him to get his wife something extravagant for Christmas. On the other hand, though, I don't feel like it's really my responsibility to care about how brother-in-law feels about a gift that I got for my wife, and that if he feels pressure, it's not on me. I don't know. Was I the asshole for talking about the gift during dinner? Not the asshole. Your brother-in-law's insecurities aren't yours to manage. You bought a common, typical gift for your wife. Pretty much. Opie and his wife don't exist to please other people. Furthermore, Opie has zero say in what his wife chooses to wear on her own body, so brother-in-law is a sexist jerk for implying that Opie can put his wife in check. Brother-in-law can kick rocks. It's an asshole move to try to guilt someone for a gift given to their significant other. Not the asshole. And lol at your brother-in-law for the whole "let your wife" comment. She's a grown-ass woman and can dress herself. Your brother-in-law is the asshole, and apparently a misogynistic one to boot. Brother-in-law wants to be mad at OP instead of at the wife, so he's making it into this kind of thing. Definitely jealous and feels guilty and emasculated, or some bullcrap. I mean, how dare the wife have a husband who, loves and appreciates her? How dare the husband love his wife and worship the ground she walks on? How dare they have a healthy relationship? Not the asshole. His response says a lot about him and nothing about you. He's protecting his insecurities and jealousies. And now on to the update. Thank you to everyone for giving me the confidence to move forward with the situation. There were a few questions in my last post regarding how my wife, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law were involved in the situation that I wanted to shed some light on. Unfortunately, the outcome isn't the best. The first thing that I want to clear up is that brother-in-law is, in fact, my wife's brother. Secondly, the allow comment regarding my wife's choice in dress was from my brother-in-law. I have no interest or power in dictating what my wife chooses to wear regardless of the occasion. Thirdly, while I won't reveal the cost of the necklace, I can assure everyone that it was in a reasonable price range that definitely wouldn't turn any heads if worn out running errands, but was still special enough to my wife and myself. I initially wanted to keep the text messages from my wife in fear that it would sour the sentiment behind the necklace, but we are not the type to keep secrets from each other. When she read the texts, she was livid. I have never seen her so upset, especially at family. She immediately called her brother and reamed him out for his insensitivity. We were on the phone together, but I didn't really pipe up once she started arguing, since I felt like they should work it out as siblings. They got in a long argument, and her brother said he was worried that she was going down a slippery slope of becoming a superficial cow, and that we shouldn't force our financial success on other people. That comment honestly shocked the both of us, because while they weren't close growing up, he's never talked to her like that before. At that point, my wife told her brother that if he wasn't going to be happy for her, that she had one thoughtful treat from her husband after a really shitty year, then she had nothing to say to him. A few hours later, my wife did get a text from sister-in-law. Apparently, she also heard the conversation and was mortified. She at least reassured us that she was happy for our success after working so hard, and that she would try to talk some sense into her husband, brother-in-law. Regardless, my wife and I decided to spend Christmas without brother-in-law and his wife. We'll be doing it separately on Christmas Eve with her parents. At this point, there is just too much tension, and I didn't want to risk brother-in-law ruining Christmas because I wouldn't put it past him to find the gifts we get her family too luxurious and pitching a fit in response. Her parents are staying out of the situation for the time being, but are okay with us meeting separately, and I respect their decision. And this might make me the asshole, but I'm going to take some advice from a few commenters and get my wife a nice matching bracelet for Christmas. And edit, I didn't include this before because my brother-in-law didn't concretely admit to anything, but my wife speculates that her brother's behavior is due to a competitive nature. She said that he's always loved winning, even as a child. During my rough patch, he started coming around to help out, but now I'm starting to feel like it just gave him some sort of twisted satisfaction to see me failing. Now in the comments, thank you for the update. Your brother-in-law's behavior was so bizarre. It was hard to believe that we were getting an accurate picture of the situation. This is not your fault. That was really weird. Agreed. Brother-in-law is way out of line and definitely seemed to be projecting his issues onto OP and OP's wife. You absolutely should get her the matching bracelet. Maybe earrings too if not over budget. Yeah, my immediate thought was, brother-in-law is going through some financial stuff and is taking his stress out on OP. Hidden gambling addiction, anyone? You don't need anything as scandalous as a secret addiction, just a fragile ego being emasculated by the family F-up. This is just keeping up with the Joneses hype that exists entirely in brother-in-law's head. And OP says, I agree that it came out of left field. I left an update on the top, but my wife guesses that her brother is just being irrationally competitive and is quite bitter that we are doing better now. Although he's not wealthy, he's definitely not struggling financially. You should get matching earrings also, or maybe get something nice for your sister-in-law. Bracelet for Christmas, earrings for Valentine's Day, and put the photos on Facebook for her brother to see. Just, wow. Buy one nice gift and then she's a superficial cow? I guess that makes me the same, since I'm planning on buying me a nice purse for my birthday tomorrow. First one I've bought in a couple years. Anyone who has ever gotten a gift ever is a superficial cow forcing their financial success onto others. Excuse me while I walk up to this children's birthday party and rip the present out of the kids' hands and berate the parents for shoving their financial success in my face. Don't they know they're walking down a slippery slope of raising their kids to becoming superficial B-words? You nailed it. This was such a great update. Have a fun holiday with the parents. Congratulations on not having a toxic relationship on Reddit. This was super refreshing. Our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for wanting my girlfriend to take a pregnancy test? So I, 26 male, and my girlfriend, 25 female, have been together for 6 years. I think she's pregnant. I keep encouraging her to take a test and she refuses. For the past month or so, she's been saying that she doesn't feel good. She's been extremely tired and fatigued, complaining of back pain and headaches, feeling bloated, and overall just not feeling well. I asked if she thought she could call her doctor, not necessarily because I thought she was pregnant, but just out of concern for her health in general. She said no, and figured it was allergies or her period was supposed to start. Her period is very regular. I mean, I can damn near track it. She has said that she's always been this way and has rarely been more than a day or two off. So when she was supposed to start earlier this month and didn't, she seemed a bit concerned. When she was a week late, I pointed out that she hadn't been feeling herself and maybe she should take a pregnancy test. She said there was no way she was pregnant and she was probably just re-regulating or something like that. I said taking a test wouldn't hurt just to be sure, but she wasn't having it, so I dropped it. She has a lot of fears and phobias, one of them being emetophobia, which is the fear of vomit. It is something that she has struggled with since she was a kid. Usually, even someone around her saying they feel sick will send her into full-blown panic mode. Thursday night, she was supposed to visit her grandmother, so when I came home after work, I was surprised to see her laying on the couch. I said, "You're home early," and she told me she didn't go. When I asked why, she told me that while she was driving home, she felt nauseous and decided to not go. I asked if she was okay and questioned the nausea. She told me it was nothing, probably just something that she ate. Being nauseous for any reason would normally cause her to freak out, and now she's being so nonchalant about it. She again blew it off like it was nothing. I again mentioned taking a pregnancy test. She has all the symptoms, why not just take a test and find out? If she is, she is. If she's not, she's not. And then we can put our minds at ease. We went back and forth a little bit. Basically, her argument is that she's not pregnant, there's no way she's pregnant, and she wishes that I would just drop it. She stormed off to bed. I slept in the guest room, and that was that. She has been giving me the cold shoulder since Thursday night. We are usually great about communication. This is probably the worst argument we've ever had, and I don't know what to do. Do I apologize? I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, but maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut. I'm not trying to push her, I'm just worried. If she is pregnant, then she has got to get the proper care. If she's not, then there's something else going on health-wise that she should get checked. And edit, I hit the character limit when I submitted this, and in my shortened version, I guess I left some things out. But I need to clear this up. We've talked about kids before, and as far as I know, we both want them. It was a conversation that we had before we even started dating, but that's a story for another time. Everything was fine before this. We both seem to be on the same page in terms of our future. If she is pregnant, she is not waiting until it's too late to do anything, thus trapping me in the relationship. I love her more than anything. I am not leaving her whether she is pregnant or not. Now in the comments, no assholes here. You just want to take care of her and make sure she isn't sick at its core. Honestly, it sounds like she is pregnant how you were describing, but that is probably terrifying to her. Taking the test would force her to face that fear head on, and it is something she will have to come to herself. Maybe reassuring her that you were there for her and will support her throughout if she is pregnant, or just addressing that you know what is scary for her would help her ease her fears. She needs to feel secure and cared for in what is likely a very scary time, especially with how pregnancy out of wedlock is viewed for some families. Best of luck. Adding to this, don't worry about proper medical care right now. She has some time. The only thing the doctor, rather the receptionist, will do is ask if she has taken a pregnancy test, tell her to take her prenatal vitamins, watch her diet, expect to be extra tired and maybe nauseous, don't drink, don't smoke, don't take medication, call if she has problems, and schedule an appointment a few weeks out. Not the asshole. She's in denial and probably afraid of it being positive. You two had sex? There's a possibility of being pregnant. It's that simple. I hate being a person who assumes negative things, but I wonder if she is in denial. It's certainly possible, but the part about how she was nonchalant about the nausea made me think. Being blasé about something that usually upsets her, being nauseated, makes it sound like she has information that he doesn't have. Is there a possibility that she knows what's wrong with her, pregnancy or otherwise? I wonder if there is a chance that she is pregnant, knows she's pregnant, but isn't ready to involve him in the decision-making yet, so she's keeping it a secret until she knows what she wants to do, or knows that he wouldn't agree with what she would want to do, so one day she's just going to magically be not sick anymore, and she won't have to tell him anything. It sounds like there are people here who are in serious denial about being pregnant. So maybe that's more of a possibility than I'm giving it credit for being, and I hope that's the case. And OP replies, I have gotten a couple of comments and messages from people suspicious of my girlfriend. While I'd like to just ignore it, I can't help but be a little suspicious too because of this. She's rarely nauseous, so when she is, it's a big deal. She has a panic attack. For her to act like it was nothing is so unlike her, and my questioning of it is what seemed to upset her most. Hopefully she's just scared and in denial or something along those lines. And now on to the update. Thank you for the comments, upvotes, and awards on the original post. I appreciate everyone's concern, and especially those who checked in after. Sorry for leaving everybody hanging. To answer everyone's question, yes, she is pregnant, and yes, it is mine. She's about 5 months along, and she and the baby are both doing great. After my original post, I was considering some things that people had said before. I thought it was best to drop it for the time being. We made up before getting into another big fight where we stopped speaking for a couple days. One night I came home from work to find her crying. She finally opened up and we were able to talk. As expected, she was scared and in denial. While marriage and kids were things that we both agreed that we wanted, she wasn't in any hurry, so neither was I. However, we know 10 people who got married, engaged, or had kids within the past year. I think she was feeling some kind of pressure, and we discussed being less careful about birth control. I don't think either of us expected it to happen so fast, and admittedly we could have thought it through a bit more. Once faced with the possibility of being pregnant, she admitted that she didn't feel ready, but she was also concerned that if she wasn't pregnant, what was wrong with her, seeing that she definitely wasn't herself. She just didn't want to face either possibility, especially since at the time, her dad was going through a cancer scare. We had a long talk about all of the what-ifs, her concerns, and her options, and it put her at ease enough to call her doctor, who was very accommodating. We weren't surprised to find out that she was pregnant, but we were a little surprised to find out that she was not nearly as far along as we expected. The doctor determined that the symptoms she was experiencing that had us convinced that she was pregnant were actually due to stress and not taking care of herself properly. Unfortunately, the past few months have been really hard emotionally because of some family issues, but otherwise she feels good and is doing really well. We are nervous but excited, looking forward to the end of April. And now in the comments, congratulations! Before I figured out that I was a week late on my period, I was feeling so awful that one night I started bawling to my husband, "I have cancer! I know it! I'm dying!" Those hormones are no joke. It's going to be awesome. Enjoy the ride. I had a friend who had tried to conceive a few years with her husband before just giving up and deciding to remain childless. One night, lying in bed, she felt this weird twinge in her stomach, felt around and found a lump. She freaked out, gets her husband to feel around on it, and she's convinced it's a tumor, worrying about dying. She calls the doctor in the morning, explaining about the lump she's found and how she's worried. She was 5.5 months pregnant. The baby at that point was about the size of a bell pepper, or a tumor. Congratulations, and my sympathy to your girlfriend for dealing with emetophobia during pregnancy. That crap is no joke. I have emetophobia that used to dominate every aspect of my life, and it took a good 5-ish years of cognitive behavioral therapy to unwind it. If she's not in CBT, I highly recommend it. My life is so much better now that I don't spend each and every day worried about emetophobia-related stuff. And OP says, thank you. I appreciate the suggestion. She'll have to look into it. So far, she hasn't felt too bad, thankfully. Alright, and that's where I'm going to end this one today, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, I love you being here to the end of the videos. I've not really got much to add besides the usual stick of don't forget your water. Water is really good for the body. Did you know that water keeps you alive? I didn't know that for the longest time, but now I do know. Anyway, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.